Today we're gonna go way back. Wait, not that far. 2003. Imagine what would happen if a beloved franchise got a complete visual overhaul and received a wave of backlash and hate as a result. The graphics were so bad that the game itself was considered a failure before it even came out. At least to gamers. The game I'm talking about? The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. Fans review bombed the product on Metacritic, leaving very intelligent and well thought out reviews like, "Not a single moment where I actually enjoyed this game. It's genuinely tedious to play through. Nintendo did the one thing I never thought they would do. They turned Zelda, previously a great series, into a cash-in. Nintendo has really got to get its act together before it loses all of its fans. Unless you were under the age of 7 or very immature for your age, you will probably not enjoy this game." I love Zelda games, but this one had me ticked. Seeing a cartoonish version of Link was absolute agony for me. This isn't Zelda? Oh, and look, the game got a 97. Well, see, now that's actually factually incorrect. The game got a 96 on Metacritic. I played this on demo at a local game store. The sounds were annoying, and every time Link moved, he made the stupid grunting sound. The graphics were too cartoony and a big turnoff. The gameplay was counterintuitive. I will not purchase this game. The original Zelda games were not children's games. Sure, they were appropriate for everyone, but they were not designed specifically to appeal to 8-year-olds and exclude adults. This is the worst Zelda game ever, and I think its sales will reflect that. Nintendo has really lost touch. Most of the criticism behind the Wind Waker came from the graphics, which, ironically, I think is the best part of the game over 19 years later. People hated the graphics because people hate change. And also 3 years earlier, when Nintendo did a showcase of what the graphics of the GameCube were capable of, they showed a gameplay demo called Space World 2000, where Link looked like a more updated version of his Ocarina of Time self. So, the expectations for the newest Zelda game were high, to say the least. But I'm gonna put two images side by side and you tell me which one looks better. Space World 2000? Or, Wind Waker. Yeah, funny how recency bias works, huh? But Nintendo fans wanted that 2000 version of The Legend of Zelda. I think they wanted it in large part because they wanted Nintendo to seem cool. Not being cool enough was always a knock on Nintendo back in those days. First by Sega, then by Sony, and then in the summer of 2001 with the Xbox and Halo waiting around the bend by Microsoft. Nintendo just wasn't as cool as them, or so the anxiety went. PlayStation 2 was getting the gritty and mature new Metal Gear Solid and increasingly realistic looking Final Fantasy games, but what was the GameCube getting? Some stupid game called Super Mario Sunshine, which was objectively one of the worst games ever created, might I add. The Xbox was a mean-looking behemoth of a game console. The GameCube was a purple cube with a handle on the back. Then there was the petition. Dear Miyamoto-san, we the fans of Zelda plead to you to realize that not all Zelda fans are kids, nor do we all enjoy your new animated anime designs. Seeing as you have shown both a mature and cartoon graphical Zelda, we ask that both be made and released worldwide. The people who have signed this petition are not necessarily saying that they are not looking forward to the cartoon graphical Zelda game, but we would appreciate a Zelda game resembling the Space World 2000 demo. Oh, what a beautiful piece of internet history this was. This garnered 11,680 signatures, and I have made it my personal mission to track down every single person who signed this and take away their internet access effective immediately. But why were people so rattled about the cartoonish graphics anyway? In the US, cartoons and anime are seen as more targeted for a younger audience, but this couldn't be farther from the truth in Japan. In Japan, animation is seen as an art form for all ages and doesn't carry the same stigma as just for kids that it does in the States. There are anime targeted for a younger audience in Japan, but think of Studio Ghibli. It cannot be denied that the Ghibli movies can be enjoyed by anyone from any age group, and they even tackle more mature themes that I'm sure went over some people's heads if they watched them as a child. But this video isn't about anime. This video is about the Wind Waker. And how good is the Wind Waker? Pretty damn good. While it is true that The Wind Waker is completely unlike any of the Zelda games that came before it, The Wind Waker showed that the Legend of Zelda series was capable of being versatile and switching up its mechanics, while still holding that same magic that the previous games had. In a way, The Wind Waker blazed the trail ahead for all future Zelda games to continue adapting to the current times and setting the industry standard in terms of quality. And for me personally, The Wind Waker is one of my favorite games of all time and showed me that video games can carry a magic with them that you just can't get from any other pieces of media. With all that being said, I think my thoughts can be perfectly summed up in this comment left by my man Fix This Planet when he says, "Disgusting game, one of the worst I've ever had to play, avoid at all costs."